Nigeria's tech ecosystem is a vibrant one, mostly run by the country's young population, but not many 9-year-olds have developed scores of mobile games. Basil Okpara has that to his credit. He's been in the news for being a serial game developer. Our correspondent Dario, who visited Basil's school, reports that the child prodigy is not slowing down.
Basil Okpara schools here. He's getting new knowledge, learning other things apart from the gaming world. But his affection for digital games and the ability to develop many of it has brought him under the spotlight.
I want to make the mouse follow the cat.
Basil started from the scratch using a free programming application for beginners. Now he's upped his game to a more sophisticated app.
These are the codes.
Construct is an HTML5-based 2D game editor, similar to source files used in programming languages. For Basil, it's an upgrade, a departure from where he started from.
I want to achieve building robots and going to space.
Soft-spoken, but does not shy away from expressing himself with the computer.
I want to build robots that can do house chores and also behave like humans, because doing house chores is hard for me. That's what happens when you kill them.
Basil doesn't seem to like mosquitoes as well. A new game he built targets and kills the blood-sucking flies before they get to bite this family is meant to protect. A story many Nigerians will relate to it. The management of this school, where the youngster has been enrolled for 7 years, says it has a reputation for providing quality education, but gives a lot of credit to Basil's parents.
This boy came in this school, that's Basil Okpara, in nursery 1. That's, if my memory serves me right, nursery 1. And just like other kids, it's a bit reserved, but very enthusiastic about his work. We have a lot more of them. But what I understand is that because of parental guidance, most of our parents, now to be frank with you, they leave everything for the school trying, which we have lived up to our own expectation. But come to think of it, children are not only for teachers.
First is his education, and then he will also focus on the other parts of specialized education that he is also on right now. So we are working on getting his first app on the Play Store. And then after that, before the end of the year, we want to also help him to develop another app that he will build to be on Play Store again, so that by the end of the year, he will have like 2 or 3 more apps on the Play Store. And that will give him the right to say that he's a Google app developer.
Basil may have found a calling as he embarks on an entrepreneurship drive, which will see him monetize his hobby and also earn a bragging right. His parents say they're on board to support him and see him achieve his dreams. Dario, Channel Television News.
In Nasarawa State, despite the domestication of child's rights law in that state, more children are by the day embracing stone crushing as a means of livelihood. The children, mostly from Nasarawa Gold community, are set to end up in the trade after years of accompanying their parents to quarries. Our correspondent Halima Gayam takes a look at the challenges these children face in supporting their mothers in order to survive.
In Nasarawa State, north-central Nigeria, stone crushing is a common occupation for children of Nasarawa Egon community. Hammers, headpans, and locally improvised sieves are all children need to join their mothers in the stone crushing business. While some are in the trade to get through school, some miss out on education because they are forced to make a choice between learning and survival. Their situation supports the report released by the International Labour Organization, which estimates that across nations of sub-Saharan Africa, 48 million children aged under 14 work for a living. That is almost 1 in 3. More than 1 million of them are said to be employed in small mines and quarries, working under unfavorable conditions.
There's nothing. We are just suffering. We just grow. We are seeing our parents what they are doing. That is why we are just doing it.
The women are not unaware of the difficulties faced by their children, but insist they are left without an alternative.
We know this activity outweighs their strength, but if we don't bring them here, we don't have the ability to cater for them. We are widows, and we have children, and we don't have what to give them, so they have no choice than to come here. If they assist us, we too help in paying their fees. We are calling on government to help us.
Aside physical hazards and psychosocial effects, continuous exposure to dust from the stones affects the health of the children.
There are dust particles that do come up from such stone crushing, and continuous inhalation of such things can make them to develop silicosis. Some of them can also develop some other pulmonary lung diseases. Over time, they can have alveolar diseases.
Although Nasarawa State has a Child Rights Law 2005, domesticated in 2018, full enforcement is yet to commence, a situation the Permanent Secretary says will soon be addressed.
The ministry is trying to look into ways in which these women can be actually be empowered, and as such we no longer need their children to support them in the trade that they are undertaking right now.
These women seem to focus majorly on the financial benefit of this activity, perhaps unaware of the impact on their well-being and particularly that of their children. However, a critical move by the government to appropriately enforce the Nasarawa State Child Rights Law will save a number of children from exposure to extreme labor. From Nasarawa Egon community of Nasarawa State, Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
Residents of Potonworo community in a gay local government area of Niger State are seeking urgent government attention over what they describe as neglect due to the lack of basic amenities in their community. They say although they perform their obligations as citizens of Nigeria, including voting during elections, they are yet to feel the impact of the government in their lives. On our community report tonight, our correspondent, Emperor Simon, takes a look at the plight of this community.
Potonworo, a quiet community located along Lape-Age-Beda Road, has a population of less than 300 persons. The people are predominantly farmers. But life in Potonworo is a hard nut to crack, with most essential amenities lacking. Tap water is a scarce commodity in Potonworo, and the people have to come as far as 1 kilometer from their community to this river to get water for drinking and other domestic purposes. Another area of challenge is lack of basic healthcare center in the community. These women narrate their ordeal whenever they are in labor.
Pregnant women hardly get medical attention. It's even worse during labor. Sometimes women lose their lives in the process. The only hospital available to us is in a gay town, and that's several kilometers away. We really need help. I could have died because of complications from childbirth. I was pregnant, but there was no doctor to check me. During labor, I couldn't get a hospital nearby, so we had to go to a gay town for me to deliver the child. It's really difficult for us.
The road linking Potonworo to other communities is this one that stretches from Lape through Age and then to Bida local government areas. But it's in a sordid state, thereby affecting the agricultural activities in the area.
We not get road. from Hage to Bida, and be our problem. Because even though we get something to sell, we not get road where we go carry it, go market. That be our problem.
Education is another area where the people of Botunworo are affected. Only a single block of primary school exists in the community, while their children have to go to Dendo community to acquire secondary education. But government secondary school Dendo, established about 50 years ago, is also in a state of disrepair. This is what you make of the school at the moment. The dormitory is in a dilapidated state where students are expected to live and learn. During our visit to the palace of the Emir of Agay, he also reminds the state government of its promise to repair the school.
People came around from the government side and they also saw the state of that school. And promise was made that very soon they will come to do some repairs. So we urge the government to come and fulfill that promise.
The permanent secretary in the State Ministry of Education says, although the resources of state government is lean, it will, however, respond to the needs at Dendo Secondary School.
Now that you have brought it to my attention, I will make sure that our team go there again and look at it again, so that those things that need immediate attention, we'll make sure that we'll capture it. Those that need long time, then we'll have planned over a period of time. Some of these little things we have found in schools are things that can be done in a very short time with the collaboration of SBMC and PTS. But we'll go there and check. I'm sure come over a period of time, 1 week, 2 weeks, I'll tell you the result of our visit.
For now, the people of Botunworo community can only hope that the government live up to its promises. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Staying with communities and development, as part of efforts to reduce maternal and child mortality rates in Kogi State, the state government, through the Ministry of Health, has distributed basic medical equipment and drugs to 140 primary healthcare centers across the state. The State Commissioner for Health, who disclosed this in Lokoja, the state capital, during the flag-off ceremony, notes that the distribution is meant to bring healthcare closer to the people at the grassroots.
And directors and the media.
A gathering of medical practitioners, staff of the State Ministry of Health, royal fathers, and top government officials in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital.
A strategy that His Excellency Alhaji Abilo has mastered.
They are here at the premises of the State Essential Drugs Department for the flag-off ceremony of the 4th round of distribution of basic medical equipment and essential drugs to primary health centers in the state.
We have renovated, remodeled about 28 primary health care centers across the 3 senatorial districts of Kogi State. We follow this up by conducting staff appraisal among the health professionals in our public health facilities. And we discovered huge gap. We employed in 2017-2018 about 2,424 health workers.
The State Commissioner recounts the effort of the present government in prioritizing the health sector, notably the rehabilitation of 232 primary healthcare facilities across the state.
To the glory of Almighty God. That at the inception of this administration, some facilities lack basic thermometer, sphygmomanometer, stethoscope. But today we are happy that more than 1 primary healthcare center per political ward. We have 239 political wards across the states, across the 3 senatorial districts of Kogi State, and we have revitalized over 300 primary healthcare centers.
The distribution of these drugs, which include antenatal kits to all primary healthcare institutions, is expected to boost healthcare delivery across Kogi State.